We have some new evidence in the Fani Willis case that is completely undeniable, even by Fani Willis. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Unwoke Thoughts. Today, we are talking about this new filing, this notice of proposed testimony in Fulton County Superior Court. This David Schaefer individual is a former Georgia Republican Party chairman, and he filed this notice of proposed testimony announcing that Cindi Yeager, this individual right here, has evidence, direct evidence, that will contradict what Nathan Wade said, what Fani Willis said, and what Terrance Bradley said. She is a prosecutor from Cobb County. This is the individual right here, Cindi Yeager. Yes, and she is claiming that she has direct evidence that what they are saying are, in fact, lies. If you guys remember, at a hearing over whether to disqualify Willis last week, Bradley claimed on stand that he had no knowledge of when the two prosecutors started dating. I don't know if you guys watched the hearing, but Terrance Bradley started having all of this amnesia around what happened with the two and when they became a couple. And his favorite phrase was, "I do not recall." He kept saying that over and over. It was kind of slow watching. But the filing says that Yeager, yes, Cindi Yeager, the prosecutor from Cobb County right here, this is a picture of her, would swear under oath that that was at odds with what Bradley told her in person, that the romance began in 2019 during Fani Willis's DA campaign. So that would be bombshell, because it would show that not only is Terrance Bradley lying, it would show that Fani Willis is lying, it will show that Nathan Wade is lying. All three of them are lying to the judges and everyone else's face on stand. That is, in fact, perjury. I mean, I think we all know that they're lying, but the court system operates a different way, of course. But Bradley, this Terrance Bradley guy, also texted Ashley Merchant. This is the lawyer of a co-defendant, Michael Roman. He said that the pair were absolutely dating before Willis hired Wade to manage the Trump prosecution in November of 2021. Yeah, so before he became a hostile witness, he had to be subpoenaed. Before all of that, he was actually in contact with Michael Roman's lawyer, Ashley Merchant, and he was blabbing away. He said that Nathan Wade and Fani Willis's relationship absolutely began before Willis hired Wade to manage or to be the special prosecutor on that case. And then, if you want my theory, I think that somebody got to him, either threatened him, extorted him, blackmailed him, offered him money. I don't know what. Fani Willis, as goofy as she is, she has a lot of power in Fulton County. But he became a hostile witness, meaning he had to be subpoenaed. He did not want to be a witness. And all of a sudden, Terrance Bradley is clamming up. He's saying, "I do not recall." And all of a sudden, he's saying that these text messages that he sent to Ashley Merchant were pure speculation. They were speculation. Words like they were absolutely dating before Willis hired Wade. He is saying that he was completely speculating. It's very interesting. But Cindi Yeager right here is willing to testify that Bradley told her Wade, quote, had definitely begun a relationship with Miss Willis during the time that Fani was running for district attorney in 2019 through 2020. This is what David Schaefer's filing says. So for her to come forth and testify about this would be completely bombshell, because this would totally contradict this whole story and this whole image that they are trying to build and concoct in the courtroom. But this house of cards is definitely falling down for Fani Willis, and I'm going to get a little bit more into this Cindi Yeager individual in what is happening here in just a second. But I just want you to hear what Donald Trump has to say about this whole saga going on with Fani Willis. This is the latest thing from Donald Trump. Listen to this.
Look at Fani. You know, Fani is F-A-N-I. She indicted me. She wanted to indict U.S. senators for doing nothing. Indicted me for doing nothing. And it was her and a boyfriend, and he got almost $1 million. He had no experience, no nothing. Knew him a long time ago. Then she said something to the effect, I don't know much about the gentleman. They had 2,000 phone calls. I said, you know, I'm not sure I ever called the First Lady 2,000 times, and I've been with her for a long time. I think, and they have thousands of text messages, right? But she's not sure whether or not she knows him. The whole thing is a con job. You look at what's going on in Manhattan, where Hillary Clinton, think of it, Hillary Clinton's lawyer with a big law firm leaves the firm to go into the DA's office to prosecute me. Then he leaves the DA's office and he writes a book. He writes a book. Before anything was done, he's writing a book. I mean, how illegal is that? Or take deranged Jack Smith. He's a deranged person. And look at his record. He's been overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court unanimously. These people are bad people. They were set out to do a number on me, to damage me, so that Biden could beat me, because that's the only way he can beat anybody, because he's damaged. I mean, he's really damaged goods. And you know what he should do? They're all his prosecutors. They work for him. Like Fani and her lover went to Washington and spent at least 2 days that they know of, 8-hour days in the White House counsel's office or the DOJ. So they were working on this a long time in conjunction with Joe Biden's White House. The DA's office has one of the top people from the Justice Department, that's Washington, in other words, Merrick Garland's people, put their top person in the DA's office to handle this case. And it's a nonsense case. You know, every legal opinion I've read said it's not even a crime. It's not a crime. It's not this. It's not that. It should never be brought. Should have never been. None of these things should have been brought. But it's all of these indictments are Biden indictments. And they're there to hurt an opponent. If I weren't running, none of this stuff would have ever happened. Or if I was doing badly, I would say it probably wouldn't happen. But all of this was done to inflict harm on his political opponent. And we've never had that in this country. It's something that's quite well known, but it's in other countries, not in this country. This is a big example. And honestly, what he should do is take all of those prosecutors off the cases and fight a really fair fight. We're going to win anyway, one way or the other. We're going to win anyway. But they should fight it fair, because it's so bad for the country. And people know what's happening. They see it. If they didn't see it, I'd be down at nothing. I'd be absolutely nothing. They get it, and they see weaponization. It's an attack on a political opponent.
He is absolutely correct. He is going to win, because these people, they aren't normal people. People like Fani Willis, Jack Smith, Judge Engoron, Letitia James, these people are evil people. And the thing about being evil is eventually and inevitably you will be found out, as Fani Willis is finding out right now. She is beginning to realize that she built up a house of cards. But this is a Fox News article right here that talks about it. Georgia prosecutor alleges Fani Willis asked Bradley to not testify on affair. Quote, "They are coming after us." Do you know what this is? This is called witness tampering. And Fani Willis knows exactly what she's doing here. She knows that she's not supposed to be talking to Terrance Bradley. Witnesses are not supposed to be coordinating their testimonies. But she did it anyways, because she is getting desperate. And when you get desperate, you start getting sloppy. And when you start getting sloppy, you start being found out. And that's exactly what happened in Cindi Yeager's case. She found out. And now she's coming forth to bury the hatchet, bury the knife into District Attorney Fani Willis. But a co-defendant in the 2020 Georgia election interference case says a new witness is prepared to testify against Fani Willis should evidence be reopened in her disqualification proceedings. David Schaefer, a former Georgia Republican chairman, filed a notice of proposed testimony in Fulton County Superior Court announcing that Cindi Lee Jagger, yes, Cindi Lee Jagger, right here, a co-chief deputy district attorney for Cobb County, stands ready to appear as a witness. This was reported by Fox 5 Atlanta. According to the filing, Yeager claims to have had numerous interactions with the defense's star witness, Terrance Bradley, and can corroborate his claims that Fani Willis began an affair with special prosecutor Nathan Wade years earlier than they both claimed. So when they say she can corroborate his claims, whenever he was put on stand to testify to these text messages to Ashley Merchant, Michael Roman's lawyer, one of the co-defendants in Trump's case, he said that that was pure speculation. All of a sudden, he clammed up, and he says, "I don't recall. When I said that, I was speculating. I was making things up," and he would not comment anymore on that, and it was very frustrating. But this individual, Cindi Yeager, right here, is saying that she actually can corroborate what he texted to Ashley Merchant, because he said one thing, several months ago when he was actually talking to Ashley Merchant, and then something happened, and all of a sudden he's having a weird case of amnesia. But, quote, Mr. Wade had definitely begun a relationship with Miss Willis during the time that Miss Willis was running for district attorney in 2019 through 2020, a summary of Yeager's proposed testimony states. The motion informs the court that Yeager contacted Schaefer's counsel after watching Bradley's testimony. She told the attorneys about alleged in-person and other conversations that she had with Bradley from August 2023 through January 2024, during which they discussed Willis and Wade. Bradley, Wade's former law partner and divorce attorney, it doesn't mention here, he was also apparently Wade's friend, allegedly told Yeager that Willis and Wade initiated their romantic relationship shortly after a meeting at the 2019 Municipal Court Continuing Legal Education Conference, and that it continued through 2020 while Willis campaigned for district attorney. Yeager alleges Bradley shared that he had personal knowledge of the affair and included details. That's not good for Fani Willis. Details are not good for Fani Willis. Every time that she testified, every time that Nathan Wade testified and Bradley testified, they tried their hardest not to include any details. It was always, I do not recall. Everything was always paid out in cash, no money trail, no details. So details, it's weird. When they come out, they always seem very bad for Fani Willis. But these details regarding the use of Robin Yurdy's apartment and other meetings before November 2021, when Wade and Willis claim their relationship started. The Cobb County Prosecutor also claims she overheard a September 2023 phone conversation between Willis and Bradley discussing an article about how much money Wade and his law firm had earned from working on the election interference case. During this alleged conversation, which took place before Bradley was subpoenaed as a witness against Willis, Yeager claims she heard the district attorney tell Bradley, quote, "They are coming after us. You don't need to talk to them about anything about us." So, that's not good for Fani Willis. That is actually very bad. Fani Willis knows this is illegal. Fani Willis knows that witness tampering is illegal, and that's exactly what you are seeing here. I think we all knew it was happening, but like I said, it works a little different in courts. They have to see it. It has to be tangible. And this looks like it's going to be tangible because this is from a prosecutor from Cobb County, and she is willing to go on the stand and swear that this is what she heard and swear that this is what she experienced. So this is very bad for Fani Willis. But the motion states Yeager agreed to come forward after seeing how Bradley's testimony during Willis's disqualification hearing did not match up with what he had purportedly told her. Quote, "Therefore, in the event that the court reopens the hearing to receive additional evidence as requested by the state and defendant former President Trump, Mr. Shaver requests that the defense be permitted to subpoena Ms. Yeager and present Ms. Yeager's testimony relating to the matter set forth herein," the motion states. It is unclear if Judge Scott McAfee will reopen evidence to allow Yeager's testimony to be admitted. I really hope he does. I don't know if we've gotten confirmation on this. I've been hearing kind of things here and there, but the judge heard closing arguments Friday on allegations that Willis benefited financially from her affair with Wade and should be disqualified from her case against former President Donald Trump. Willis and her office are leading the sweeping racketeering case against former President Donald Trump and 18 co-defendants. Several co-defendants, including Schaefer and Michael Roman, earlier this year accused Willis of hiring Wade while they were romantically involved, and she benefited from his government salary through lavish vacations they took together. Willis and Wade both denied the allegations and have claimed their romantic relationship started after Wade was hired in 2021. So they use this true love defense. Like, hey, Fani Willis hired Nathan Wade, and they both got hearts in their eyes, and they fell in love. It happened naturally. There wasn't any of this crazy stuff that you hear that they were already dating, and that's why she hired him. Of course not. Everything was on the up and up. It happened after. But Willis claimed in court testimony that she would always reimburse Wade for her portion of their shared travels in cash. Yeah, you know what else happens when you pay someone in cash? There's no receipt. There's no paper trail. Really odd, right? There are no receipts for those reimbursements, and one witness claimed their relationship started as early as 2019. Wow, that's a long time. Congratulations, Fani Willis. Last month, Bradley testified under oath regarding what he knew about Willis and Wade's personal relationship. He took the stand after McAfee determined Bradley could not claim attorney-client privilege. So Fani Willis's lawyers were kind of acting de facto as Terrance Bradley's lawyers, he thought at least at the time. And they argued that because Terrance Bradley had been a lawyer for Nathan Wade, that he got this attorney-client privilege, and they try to argue that for everything. But it's kind of a weird situation because Terrance Bradley was not just Nathan Wade's attorney. He was his friend. He was his business partner. So they had to kind of weed out the things that were not covered under this umbrella of client-attorney privilege. So they had to pick a few instances that they could talk about and that Bradley could testify about, even though he really, did not recall anything, and he stonewalled him the entire way. But Bradley, when pressed under oath, said he could not recall several details and timelines about conversations he had with former client Wade about Wade's romantic relationship with Willis. Bradley said he could not recall key details or specific information more than 24 times in the roughly 2-hour testimony in Fulton County Superior Court on Tuesday. He also said he had only ever discussed Wade's relationship with Willis once with Wade, just one time. After hearing all arguments and testimony, McAfee said he would issue a decision in the next 2 weeks. So I was listening to Benny Johnson earlier, and he said that he knew some people in Fulton County that knew Judge McAfee. And they said that Judge McAfee was all set to rule that Nathan Wade was kicked off the case, not Fani Willis. This is all conjecture. I'm just quoting what I heard someone else say from someone else. So I don't know how reliable this is. But now that this new filing from David Schaefer came forth by Cindi here, Cindi Yeager. I heard that he is now considering completely taking the entire team off the case if he reopens the evidentiary hearings and he hears this. So I believe that there will be another evidentiary hearing. Don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure. But for this prosecutor to come forward and to testify on stand these things, this would be literal bombshell information. But good on Cindi. I hope she stays safe because she's going against a thug over there in Fulton County. And I hope she gets a chance to testify. I would really like to hear what she has to say. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Cindi here contradicting what Nathan Wade, Fani Willis, and Terrance Bradley has said about this relationship and when it began? Do you think she's going to get a chance to testify? And what do you think is going to happen with Judge McAfee? Do you think he's going to disqualify her? Or is he just going to disqualify Nathan Wade? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.